started, working through the agenda.
You need to get louder.
Hello. How's that? And get our questions answered for next week. All right, first on the list, we have approval of minutes. First is November 8th, 2021, 5 p.m. work session, November 10th, 2021, 5 p.m. special called work session, and November 15th, 2021, 9:30 a.m. work session. Any questions? All right, next we have an appeal, resolution number 21-380, approve $5,000 penalty against Healthcare Investment Group Incorporated doing business as First Response Ambulance Service for not meeting 2020 fourth quarter fractal response times. Tracy, Herman.
This isn't no change here.
Yeah.
This isn't explained.
Yeah, we need, can
we get some clarification on it, or somebody to come up and speak on the matter? Is this a matter that was done before us, or?
No. It's the fourth quarter last year response times that were not met.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can just give the history, not necessarily the facts tonight.
As you know, Tracy Thornton Fire Department. As you know, we keep up with the fractal times of the EMS carriers in the city. And First Response, their times did not meet the 90% fractal times in the fourth quarter of 2020. That penalty was applied by the ARB and passed by the ARB to go to council. And First Response has not appealed or paid the fine up until now, and that was a year ago, last quarter of last year. We had a change in the ordinance, and it says, since we upholded that fine for them, that they had 14 days to bring it to council to appeal it, and they have appealed that ruling.
That was under the old response times, correct?
Correct.
If they were under if it was with the new ordinance, would they have met it?
I couldn't tell you that. I don't know.
Do you know why we're looking at an appeal from a fourth quarter of 2020 in the fourth quarter of 2021?
Because First Response said that I was the one that should have appealed it, but it was their penalty, and Chip explained to them that it was their responsibility to appeal it. We had nothing in the ordinance, actually, up until we changed the ordinance that had a specific date as to when they had to appeal it or pay the fine. But now it's 14 days after it's levied to them.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Thanks, Tracy.
Yes, sir.
Next, public hearings, resolution number 21-234, authorized abatement of unsafe condition at 1613 Sherman Street Southeast. This is the same structure that we granted a 30-day extension on in November. David.
I can answer any questions tonight that anyone may want to ask. I think I can. But I'll have a little presentation next week for the public hearing for y'all to look at. Nothing's changed as of now.
Okay, any questions for David?
So as of the past 30 days, he's not had any other, he couldn't work on it for the past 30 days, correct?
That's correct.
Did he put in an application for a permit?
He did make application for a permit. It was subsequently denied for lack of content, and he was notified by letter, and we've not received anything else.
What was the value of the permit request? Do you recall, David?
Mayor, I believe it was $5,000 if memory serves me correctly, to make all of those repairs.
Just estimate, and if you're not comfortable giving an estimate.
No, sir, I just wanted to confirm, but that is the $5,000 total repair value on the permit application.
Would $5,000, in your opinion, begin to cover?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
All right, any other questions? Thanks, David. Next is ordinance number 214482, approve pre-zoning request 138121 to zone 59.8 acres more or less located east of Central Avenue and south of Pool Valley Road to R5 residential.
Yes, this is a pre-zoning request, roughly 60 acres, looking to go R5. Of course, pre-zoning, if approved, they've had 6 months after that to apply for annexation. And this was recommended by the Planning Commission.
Okay, any questions? Next is ordinance number 214483, approve zoning request 137921, newly annexed property located west of Mcintyre Lane and north of Wingate Way to be zoned R3.
Yes, this is newly annexed, like you stated, looking to go R3. This is half of a subdivision that was annexed in.
Okay, any questions? That's Windsor Place, okay.
Yes.
Ordinance number 214484, approve zoning request 138021 for newly annexed property west of Mcintyre Lane and north of Wingate Way to R5.
And 1380 is just the other half of that subdivision, looking to go R5.
All right, any questions? All right, thanks, Lee. Resolution number 21381, approve request for restaurant retail liquor license for Crab King's Seafood located at 107 2nd Avenue Northeast, Decatur, Alabama, 35601. Lori.
They've met all criteria and there's no reason not, I mean, I don't have any changes on it, so.
Okay, any questions? All right, resolution number 21382, authorize Decatur Utilities to enter into long-term natural gas purchase agreements. Gary?
Yes, President Ladner, Mayor and council members, what we have here before you is a resolution. I'll tell you that the original resolution for this was presented and approved in September of 2018, and we want to make a modification to that original resolution. It's what you have before you here. And the only modification is it restricted us to do only 75% of our residential commercial gas loads for these discounted gas rates. And we've entered into 2 contracts now that we achieved to get some discounts from. And we've got some working knowledge of it. The discounted gas contracts work, and we'd like to take that item out where it's limited to 75% and just go up to 100%. And we are achieving discounts through this. We've out of the 75%, we've entered into contracts for 50% of that, so we've got 25% of that original resolution that's left. So we want to continue that on and go up to 100%, and of course the money goes back to the ratepayers in the gas system. So it's worked out good, and it's a good thing for our ratepayers here in Decatur. So be glad to entertain any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Gary? Thank you, sir. All right, next is resolution number 21401, approve request from T-Mobile for a special use permit to modify equipment on the existing tower located at 401 Mcintyre Lane.
Good afternoon, President, Council, Mayor. David Andrews with CMS, the city's consultant for wireless telecommunication. This resolution is an application that was made by T-Mobile at 401 Mcintyre Lane. It's an existing 159-foot monopole tower. T-Mobile is already providing service from that tower at the top of it at 159 foot. They currently have 9 antennas mounted on the tower and associated radio equipment for the antennas. They're requesting to remove all of their equipment from the tower. They're going to replace that equipment with 6 new antennas and 6 new remote radios, and the feed lines aren't going to change at all on the tower. This is being done for a technology upgrade and to provide 5G service for the West Beltline road area. CMS has reviewed the application and recommends approval.
All right, any questions? Thanks, David. All right, next we have our weed abatements. David, is there any?
No changes on any of the weed abatements.
All right. Any questions for David on any of those? All right, so we'll go down to K, resolution number 21-391, authorized mayor to submit an application on behalf of the city of Decatur to become a Keep America Beautiful Incorporated affiliate.
Untitled Landfill and Recycling. This is to submit our application to restart our beautification board with Keep America Beautiful. There will be a, I think it's $4,500 fee, and then annually we'll have to pay $285 annually to be a part of to be an affiliate.
Can you just kind of, what is, being an affiliate gets us what?
It gives us grant opportunities.
Okay.
Also, we get a lot of opportunities to get really great sponsors, Lowe's, and I've dealt with Home Depot, and one of the major projects I've had to deal with when I partnered with the public schools was to build outside classrooms, which have been very beneficial to the students, just to learn a little bit more about the environment. So it's just an opportunity as a collective, as a community, to get together to not only for beautification purposes, but to help with the litter issues in the city, but also to, I know that in the mayor's letter, one of the things he said was to actually enhance those great assets within the city of Decatur.
Okay, any questions for Wanda? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, next resolution.
Excuse myself. Apologies.
All right, next is resolution number 21-392, authorized mayor to accept Alabama Historical Commission grant for Girl Scout Little House. Alan?
Yes, this is a grant from the Alabama Historic Commission that would allow us to do some renovations to the Girl Scout house that Delano behind. Just asking your permission to approve. It's a no-match grant.
Okay. Any questions? All right, next is resolution number 21-393, approve JDL Preservation Consulting to perform Albany Commercial District Resurvey.
Community Development sent out RFPs for work for consultants to do this work, to do this redistricting or the work, and we're just asking that y'all allow us to accept their proposal.
Okay, any questions? Thanks, Alan. Next is resolution number 21-394, approve one-time pay increase of $400 for full-time city employees. Rochelle?
This is coming forward based on a recommendation in collaboration with our finance department to recognize the employees who really stuck it out last year and through the COVID event, and give another one-time pay increase of $400. I do need to make a date correction on the eligibility to be hired on or before September 20th, 2021. The date that's on there is November 29th, and that was the date that was in my head on another matter that day.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes. And Ms. Salmon, if you're welcome to stand there or take your seat, whatever you want to do, but I guess I'll address this to the council. And so back in, it was FY19, but really December 2018, we did, a pay study was passed. And so that reset our pay structure. And with that, in trying to sustain that pay structure, we knew that the future administrations would need to bring forward a 2.5% COLA each year so that we could stay with the market. And then we went, just as a reminder, from a 12-step program to an 18-step program. In that 12-step program, it had 5% pay increases, annual increases. And then the 18 was 2.5. So it ended up creating somewhat of a gap as you got on down a couple of years. And so we're there now. But that was the importance of doing that 2.5% cost of living increase every year. The following year, the council approved a 1.5% increase. And then in FY '21, because of COVID, Kyle, help me if I'm right here now, we just in being conservative in our budgeting, we didn't do any kind of increase as it relates to COLA. And so thankfully this year, the council has done a 2.5% increase for our staff, and we're thankful for that. We're thankful for this $400 increase, but based on what we know as it relates to the unassigned fund balance that we've seen, it's unaudited, but it's going to be somewhere around $20 million. Would like to ask the council if you would consider a $900 increase as opposed to a $400 increase. And keeping in mind this where we only gave 1.5% in 20 and nothing in 21, doing this isn't going to, it's going to just say thank you to our staff for what you've done, what they've done, and continue to do, but it's not going to be recurring. Whereas if you had the COLAs in there with that 2.5 like we recommended or had hoped for, those would have been recurring and would have been building and would have had an impact on retirement and all that. So this will not come out of ARPA funds, that is the CARES Act funding that the cities received. What I'm recommending is that we would use the general fund to give this additional funds to our employees. And that way, Kyle, you're still not really clear as to whether or not the ARPA funds can be used for something of this nature. Correct. Okay. And boy, you're not being interrogated. But I mean, based on this unassigned fund balance, we can certainly afford this? Yes, sir. Yeah, okay. It would come a little north of $400,000, is that?
Yeah, the number was $449,338.
Okay. And so some of the other communities have done $1,000, some have done $4,000. There's been various amounts given, and so what I wanted to ask the council to consider is $1,000 or 900, excuse me, based on the dates as presented by Ms. Salmon.
Okay, any other discussion? Thanks, Mayor.
I would support a $900 one-time pay increase. It was a tough year for our city employees and, you know, employees across the city as a whole, county and state and the country. So I will support this increase. I don't see it as a way to get us to market pay, but I do see it being something that employees do deserve. Some type of recognition for the work they've put in and keeping the city going during difficult times. So if we want to make that amendment from $400 to $900, I'll certainly support that.
Thank
you. All right, any other discussion? All right, next is resolution number 21-395, approve proposed rate increases for Point Mallard Water Park.
Mayor, Council President, Stephanie McLean, Point Mallard Park. This resolution is to increase daily rates and season pass rates for Point Mallard Aquatic Center. This price increase would allow us to increase seasonal employees' hourly rates so that we can be more competitive in the job market. Point Mallard Aquatic Center has not had a daily rate increase since 2013. And we have not had a season pass increase since 2011. So that's what this resolution actually is requesting.
Okay, any questions? I think you had kind of a breakdown of what's that looked like to similar type parks.
Yes, the attachment to this resolution actually gives a breakdown of comparison to water parks in the surrounding area. It gives a breakdown of what their daily rates are, as well as season passes, parking, those type of fees are all included in that.
I'll be curious when the time comes what they're paying lifeguards too, compared to what we would be, so. Any questions? Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
All right, resolution number 21-396, approve repave Sealcoat of Decatur City Hall parking areas. Carl?
Mayor Council, Carl Pruitt. I've been asked to look at the City Hall parking lot, and I guess we looked at it, and based on, this would be repaving the drive aisles and seal coating and restriping the existing parking spaces. We came up with, it was between $50,000 and $55,000 to do that, and that's what I have before you today. I guess work session to look at that. If y'all want to do that, then we'll move forward, and if not, we'll find something else.
All right, any questions?
Just to, thank you, Carl. Does that include painting the curbs where needed, the yellow paint?
We can do that, yes, sir.
Okay, good. That really makes it pop.
We can definitely do that.
All right, any other questions? Thanks, Carl. Next is resolution number 21-397, approved truck purchase for engineering department, street department.
Yeah, the street department's replacing another pickup dump truck. This will be funded through the alley fund. The money's there for the purchase, so get this on order, hopefully to get it by next summer, hopefully.
All right, any questions? All right, resolution number 21-398, authorize mayor to execute agreement with AlDOT to upgrade intersection US Highway 31 at Target.
There's a development going in at the intersection where Target enters at 31, and they're being required to do some signal modifications and work there in the state right of way, and the state requires a maintenance agreement from the city, I guess, for that work to move forward, so bringing that to y'all.
So is the development on the
West side.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, any other questions? All right, resolution number 21-399, approve payment to AlDOT for West Moulton widening.
This is the overrun for, which was, yes. Okay, yeah, this is the overrun for our West Moulton widening project that was done 4 years ago.
2016.
Yeah, 5 years ago. I'm losing track of time. So yeah, this is an overrun that the state's requiring us to pay.
23,000, a little bit over.
All right, any questions? All right, resolution number 21-400, approved budget amendment for engineering department renovations.
Yes, with hopefully to be hiring a new engineer and staff expansion, I needed some office space, and I got with interior designer to look at a layout to create some office space in a large conference room. Those that's been in my office know where that's at. And this is for those renovations that will create 4 offices in that room, and then I'll move my conference room into where Courtney's office currently is.
All right, any questions? All right, resolution number 21-402, relocate AT&T facilities between Wilson Street Northeast and Prospect Drive Southeast on 6th Avenue right-of-way.
This is a part of the 6th Avenue improvement project to put the AT&T utilities underground, and this was for their portion of putting their utilities underground.
Okay. Any questions? And we did have we had already approved to pay for them to do that estimate, which would come off that total.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Preliminary studies that come off.
400 and some change, minus the 16
This will come out of
approved
a
originally. Still 400-ish.
385-ish.
400, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we've looked at charter WOW agreements, and it seems like when we give notice, they have to,
From my understanding, the charter agreements, they have to put theirs underground with a certain amount of notice. WOW, I'm not sure where we stand with WOW.
That's
Something similar?
not quite as clear, but that's our position we're taking.
Okay.
okay. So yes. All right, any questions on that?
That would come out of a potential warrant issue,
Okay.
reimbursed.
Yep. Thanks, Carl. All right, that's it on the agenda. Anything from directors, Ms. Sandlin?
On Thursday, November 18th, before the holiday session, I sent an email update to the council and the mayor regarding external candidates received for the Director of Environmental Services or Solid Waste position. There was the mayor and 3 other council members who expressed interest in interviewing Daniel Boutwell, an external candidate, and the mayor and 4 council members replied back with a yes to consider Mr. Carter's request to remain under consideration. Just in that email, I asked for some dates to schedule that external interview if that's what this council desired, and just need to follow up and get what next steps are that you want to do with this.
Okay. Do y'all have any certain dates that do or don't work, maybe next week?
What about Tuesday pre-meeting,
What time?
3:30?
Okay, Tuesday, 3:30 work for anyone?
And could you give me an alternative date in the event that's not good for our candidate?
How about the 7th?
Yes. I'm sorry,
Before
yes.
the council meeting.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Let's try 3.
Okay.
At a 6 o'clock meeting?
Yes.
5:30.
Yep.
Yeah, let's try 3 if that works for everybody. And we'll get with Mr. Pepper and see if that works for him.
Do you have an alternate time in the event that's a conflict for the candidate? Or
You looking
I
at
can
next
check
week?
with the candidate and let you know.
Yeah, just let us know if maybe that doesn't work.
Yeah, if not, we'll.
Let's do that. All right. My only other update is on the Friday before the Thanksgiving holidays, we did the municipal judge candidate interviews. I would just ask, since we're bumped up against the holidays, that we delay that discussion to maybe next week so that everyone has time to do what it is you need to do, given the holidays, we're right in the middle of that.
Yeah, and without Mr. Pepper as well, I think if everybody can be present, but we can't keep delaying it forever, so hopefully everybody will be present for that discussion. I'm fine with that. I did think those interviews went very well. Good candidates.
Thank you.
All right, anything else from any directors? Mayor?
No, sir.
Man, 28 minutes?
All right, anything else from council? All right, we are dismissed. Thanks.